Welcome to Vision Night 2021. We are so excited to be with you. We know this year looks a little different. Last year we were all together. We got to share an incredible meal and hear from a guest speaker, but hey, we are so committed to bringing you Vision Night this year and even right into your homes.
Yeah, if you guys registered before Friday morning, you should have received a box with some goodies in it. So I really encourage you to go to your front doors and grab that, and we just want to help you unpack it right now.
Yes, I don't know about you guys, but my favorite thing in the box has to be the popcorn. I'm so excited for that.
I'm excited for the cookie bars. I love dessert.
So clearly you guys are all about the food, and not to be the lame one, but I'm pretty excited for the information and the details that are in the bucket as well. So I would love to encourage you to grab out this trifold and glance over it before the event begins today. And there's just some incredible information in here.
Yes, you are going to see some amazing testimonies tonight from people at New Life who really share the vision of New Life and share how it's been accomplished through Know God, Find Freedom, Discover Purpose, and Make a Difference.
Yeah.
We also get to hear what Pastor Dan has planned for the church for 21 and what God has placed on his heart. I'm just so excited to hear about that.
Yeah, so in the pamphlet, you can see right in the middle here our vision statement and some of the areas that Pastor Dan wants to focus on for NLC for 2021. So, hey guys, settle in, grab your popcorn or your cookie bars. We are so excited to share with you what God has really been doing in 2020 and what He has in store for us in 2021. We will see you after the event.
Welcome to Vision Night 2020. We've put together an incredible experience to share with you not just the vision of New Life Church, but how the vision has impacted and is impacting the lives of people. Proverbs says that where there is no vision, the people perish. So you and I, we need vision. And not just vision for the organization, but more importantly for ourselves. It's personal.
Yeah, and I don't know about you, but I personally feel like 2020 has been a year where my vision has been so challenged. The goals, the plans, dreams, and desires that God planted in me in January seemed to waver amidst a global pandemic, lockdowns, and constant changes in our life as we know it. But God was still good. God was still moving. God was still working in me and changing lives through me and through all of you as well.
That's right.
2 Corinthians 8:10-11 says, "Here is my advice. It would be good for you to finish what you started a year ago. Last year you were the first who wanted to give, and you were the first to begin doing it. Now you should finish what you started. Let the eagerness you showed in the beginning be matched now by your giving. Give in proportion to what you have. Whatever you give is acceptable, and if you give it eagerly. Give according to what you have, not what you don't have." I love this verse. Finish what you started a year ago. He gave you those dreams, those desires, those goals, already knowing what 2020 had in store for us. And His vision never wavered.
That's so good. And we want to help you to see clearly, because that's what vision is. Vision is the ability to see clearly. So we want to help you to see clearly how your investment has made a difference. So we invite all of you to jump in and to be a part of what God is doing. As a church, our vision is to help people to know God, find freedom, discover purpose, and make a difference. I don't know about you, but I want to know God personally and powerfully. I want to help people to find freedom. And we all have a past. We all have those wounds and scars, pain, stuff that we've done, stuff that's been done to us. And we need to find freedom from those things. We want to help people discover purpose. Man, I want to know that my life matters. And then we want to help people to make a difference. I want to do something in someone else's life that makes a difference because it's personal.
I'm Nicole Shaw.
And I'm Justin Shaw, her husband.
We had a couple kids, they were young. We tried going to our old church, but they just cried after 10 minutes. So we'd try every few months, and I was giving up hope. One day Justin goes, "Do you want to check out this church called New Life? It's the one that has flyers all around town on Sundays." I said, "Oh, sure, why not?" I had little expectations, but because I figured our kids would just cry. So we went one Sunday just out of the blue, and we were welcomed with big arms, and our kids were able to last the whole service without crying for us, which was like the biggest blessing in the world. Our first day there, we show up, and the pastor, which now we know is Pastor Dan, was saying, "Welcome everybody, just so you know, today's baptism. It's open to anybody who feels led. Please, by all means, we have extra clothes, we have towels." So it was really nice to just open it up to the public. And I was extremely petrified, but I just kept having this like gut-wrenching feeling like, I need to go. Like, there's an opportunity, but it's our first day here, like, who does that? And so I just look at him and I'm like, going, I'm gonna go. And so I just got up and I walked out, and I remember, like, as I was grabbing the door out of the auditorium, my life's gonna forever be changed. So, and it was.
It was pretty awesome because the kids were there. They were able to see Mom get baptized to set up an expectation on how life should go and believing in Christ and such. And just the anxiety shift after that I watched in Nicole. Her anxiety was pretty high previous, and you could kind of watch a lot of that melt away after that day.
And our kids love going. They now look at the high school and elementary school as church, which is fantastic.
For several Sundays in a row, "Dad, what day is it?" "It's Sunday." "When are we gonna go to church?" It was something that they were starting to look forward to, and I thought that was just one of the coolest things in the world. I know me growing up, I really never looked forward to it, but having my kids look forward to it is pretty neat.
Yeah. And then Andrew now reaches for the Bible book every night for bedtime stories. Hi, buds.
You can take your mask off, buddies.
Come on in.
I'm Nolan. I'm Andrew.
How old are you guys?
6. I'm 4.
Andrew doesn't stop singing ever.
I like the songs. And I like Christmas music.
And had little rock outs in the house.
I love the songs that Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And with everything going on, how at ease I feel like we have been compared to where we would have been if we weren't as plugged in.
I would definitely feel comfortable leading and mentoring someone in the lights. I would look forward to that. That would be really cool. I am on the dream team. I do the lights. When I was growing up, I'd go to church with my dad every 3 months, but I always wanted to go more. We just couldn't. I heard of it through my neighbor. She texted me one day. She was like, "Hey, do you want to come to this?" I didn't really know what was going to come of that. It just really resonated with me a lot. So I kept coming back. Before I came, I was definitely in a not a good place. I was depressed all the time. I never wanted to do anything. And then found strength through prayer and coming to church, hearing Pastor Dan speak. After I probably say the third service, I kind of started to feel a connection to God. I go to him a lot with any of my problems now. When I face any adversity or something, I turn to him a lot of the time, any point of the day. When I came into New Life, I didn't expect God to turn my life around. I didn't expect that at all, and then it just happened out of nowhere. So I would say my time at New Life and how it's affected me has been amazing. So I definitely wouldn't change anything about it.
Wow, those were some incredible stories. Man, I love that Gabe and so many others come to our weekend services every single week, and they find a place where they can know God. They can meet him personally and powerfully, and their lives can be changed forever. A simple invite can allow someone to experience the power and transformative work of God. We want to help people to know God just like Gabe now knows God.
You know, I've been in recovery now for about 6.5 years, just a little over actually 6.5 years. And, you know, that's a pretty big mountain, right? So in terms of like idolatry and putting things first in front of God, you know, my alcohol use really was like primary in my life. So one of the things that I suffered from, even though I stopped drinking, I still had a lot of like self-centered mentalities and a lot of self-centered behavior. It wasn't until I was able to start committing my life to Jesus and living with God in my life and availing myself to His will that I was able to overcome the cravings and the addiction to alcohol. And, you know, once I started to do that, you know, my life has gotten a lot better and you know, He's been faithful to me in the process. Coming to church, coming to men's group, getting to know, you know, some really good people, and getting plugged in and getting a chance to, like, you know, build some relationships has made the difference. In terms of like where my life was empty, you know, a couple of years ago, here in Kalamazoo, alone, not really knowing what to do, worried about the future, right? So in the 2 years that I've been here, there's been a lot of opportunity, right? So today my life is full, but I also take what I learned in life group back to AA. I was asked to speak about my story and my experience, and I invited men's group to come. So a lot of times people in AA, they don't know how to start connecting with God, talking to God, do the conversation. And so I just kind of said, hey, this is how I pray, and it can be this simple. What I would say is that God is faithful, but it works a lot better when I am faithful to God. To find freedom from alcohol, to find freedom from addiction, and to let those things go. The joy and the freedom, right, of being found is I wake up every day, I have a clear head, I get the opportunity to go out and serve other people, make connections, build relationships, and just really enjoy, you know, living.
Mike's story is just like yours and my story, and here's the deal. Mike found freedom and is finding freedom in the context of relationships. That's our goal, is to help people to find freedom in the context of relationships. And we do that primarily through life groups. So much of Mike's story and how it's changed and how God used other people in life groups is exactly what it's all about.
I didn't really have a true relationship. I believed, I prayed, but only in those times when I felt like I needed something right at that moment, but never as part of my life, as a daily acceptance into my life. In January of 2017, my son took his life, and obviously I miss him every day. I think that what's made a difference for me in that healing is, you know, I didn't even know that I hadn't healed. I mean, honestly, it's not something you can ever really heal from, but I didn't really know that I hadn't until I sat in that auditorium and realized that I could let it out and it would be okay. But it was really hard for me to talk about him all the time until I started going to church. And now I talk about him all the time, and helps because I can tell people the great fun things and about him and the good things and the bad things, and it doesn't hurt as much. Suicide is such a hard thing to wrap your brain around, and I will never know, and that is hard. But people don't know what to say to you. So you end up helping that person through the conversation, and that's draining. And I also want to be able to sit across from somebody who is maybe gone through something I just went through, and be the person that they can have that conversation with that won't drain them. The other thing too is that it's so many things that are not about the four walls of the church. And that is amazing to me, that I'd still be out there lost and not know it.
Man, so many people have gone to church their whole life, or maybe they've gone in spurts. And we like to think that we just go to church. But man, one of the most powerful things that can happen is when God helps us to discover our purpose, that our life matters, that we don't just go to church, but we are the church.
I started singing when I was 2.5 and was always on the worship team and in the choirs. So I knew that was something that I wanted to do. I was hesitant to go in so quickly. But when I did get there, even for that very first rehearsal when I was just sitting there and just watching how everything happened, they didn't make me feel unwanted. Like, they were happy that I was there. They wanted me to be a part of it. And that was something that I needed, especially with the emotions that were going on with the divorce. The worship team was probably the best place for me to be, because I had some really dark days wondering why God would bring me up to these points with, finally meeting my husband and getting married and having a family, and then all of a sudden just taking it away. I didn't understand. And there'd be lots of times where I would just, come out and say, and I was having a hard time, and they would be there to pray for me and just send me texts throughout the week. Hey, we're thinking about you. How are you doing? And the people on the worship team just pulled me out of a really dark place that I could have just fallen deeper into had I not been a part of it. And in knowing that they were wanting to invest in my life helped me know that there was a reason why everything had happened up to that point, and there was a reason as to why I felt like I needed to go try out NLC and why I needed to be a part of that worship team. Because the whole church is a family, but then even the worship team is even just a tighter, smaller family. So I've been very blessed and grateful that I've been a part of that group and them helping me figure out what my purpose in life is and with the church. And then from that, it's also helped me in being able to be open with my kids and how they need to be living their life, and trying to make sure we have these honest conversations, because I know that they're gonna go through similar issues that I did as teenagers, and I want them to feel like they can come and talk to me and not be afraid that I'm gonna throw judgments on them. I want them to be able to know that I'm here and that God is there, and that we have a family outside of our immediate family, but we have a family at our church that they can reach out to also.
Again, so powerful. I think so many times people think, man, I can't do it. I can't make a difference, because we're defining ourselves by our past. So we've found freedom, we've discovered purpose, and all too often we tend to disqualify ourselves, thinking, man, no one's gonna listen to me, or I don't have the same talent or gifts. But man, God has wired us all uniquely, divinely, to make a difference with our lives. So that's what we're going to do.
I work at the Madawan Later Elementary, and New Life had a serve project, and they gave mugs to all of the staff. So when I saw that mug and then seeing the signs, it just kind of was, hey, look, they took their time out of their day to, first of all, have all these made, because there's a lot of staff at Madawan, and to deliver them to all of us. So I was pulled toward the serve team because I work in the community and we live in this community, so I just wanted to be part of the community, but also find ways to help in the church.
How I got into it is that we do the worship hosting, my husband and I, and while that's fun, it seemed like that there was something more that we could do in the community, and that's when the whole Second Serve Saturday came up, and so I decided perfect role there.
For me, to get outside my comfort zone, to see all of the ways that God can use me, not just what I am comfortable with, but how He can grow me as a person in doing things that I wouldn't have done before.
Now I've seen our impact with our group is, it seems kind of obvious, but we are providing meals for all these homeless people that come to the community or come to the Kalamazoo Gospel Mission looking for a warm meal. And just to give the staff a little bit of a rest, I think, has been a big impact.
They're so thankful to see us there. I know, like at the pantry, and I'm sure at the mission as well, they're just so appreciative, and they are just like, to get to the point where they don't necessarily have to be there with us on Saturday, that we can go and we can just serve. To them, that is just such a blessing. And then in return, that's a blessing to us that we're able to help them in that way.
Wow, just go for it. You will not be disappointed.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, just go for it. Step outside that comfort zone. I mean, God can use you in so many ways that you don't even know. And it's just little things.
Yeah.
You know, we just help serve food or pack boxes. And it's amazing to see the outcome of that.
How awesome is that? Man, Melissa was impacted by a Serve project, and now she's a part of leading the Serve team. That's incredible. So what's next? What do we do now? What's coming in 2021? You can see that what we do together matters, that your investment has an eternal impact. This past year, we wrote a statement that embodies who we are and the church that we see. This statement helps us to make sure that we are staying aligned with the calling that God has given to us. We see one church, New Life Church, in many locations, Spirit-led, creative, dynamic, and diverse, serving people, developing leaders, expressing irrational generosity, impacting generations. If we were to go out into our community and ask people, what do you know about New Life Church? I think that we would hear people say, they serve. They are generous. From stepping up to fill and deliver thousands of sandbags during the floods, to packing and delivering over 400 meals, giving away almost 1,000 free pizzas to healthcare workers, teachers, and first responders. I think people in our community would be able to point to our heart of serving people and expressing irrational generosity. In 2021, we want to focus and invest in developing leaders and impacting generations. We took a step this summer of launching the New Life Church Leadership and Internship Experience.
Hi, my name is Becca, and I did an internship in creative communications.
Started in the creative team and ended up doing part of the pastoral team as well.
I was in an internship with Kelsey under the worship team.
Hi, my name is Stephanie Hoogerheide, and I worked under the production team.
And my internship track was the worship track.
My name is Caleb Mitchell, and I did a internship over pastoral.
So the beginning of my internship was actually kind of scary for me because I didn't know many people. Starting out, I was given responsibility, which was really cool, and I really appreciate that.
I think one of the coolest things I got to learn was how to lead a Wednesday rehearsal and a Sunday morning for the worship team.
So not only was I learning to be a better Christian, I was actually learning the leadership skills of how do I prioritize, how do I organize, how do I get stuff done properly without missing a step.
But I can use what I've learned in leadership in so many different ways, and I think it's helped me to notice like what kind of leader I want to be and that I want to lead out of my faith.
And just being surrounded by other people that have the same like enthusiasm and drive to better their relationship with God.
I learned so much more about family and love and people and just ministry in general.
I think that no matter what I do in life, I can always lead people in faith, even if it's not in ministry. There's always people I can influence, and there's always going to be coworkers or just people in my life.
And I've taken that and applied it to my job and how I can help my other team members and just help us as a team be successful.
This experience for me has helped to affirm the fact that I really do want to work with film somehow.
So I want to be in the medical field, and in that you have to be a team. Everyone is responsible for their task, but they also have to make sure the other people are doing okay. And that was one thing that I took away from production team. Everyone checks on each other.
Now I can lead people and I can teach people, and that's been really fun for me. And something that I learned is like, I really do like teaching people, especially when it's something that I'm passionate about.
It was a great opportunity for me to grow in every area of my life.
You get to actually learn and grow with those people.
And I feel a lot more comfortable leading.
It's the most loving community that I've ever been in.
And it has changed my life so much.
Matthew 9:37 says, "The harvest is plentiful, but the workers are few. Ask the Lord of the harvest, therefore, to send out workers into his harvest field." So we're gonna pray, knowing that it depends on God, but work as though it depends on us to develop leaders who we will send out into God's harvest field. Our hope is that we can develop people who can become future worship leaders, campus pastors, online or in person, sound engineers, videographers, missions coordinators, and so much more. Whether it's in this church or we send them to another, our internship experience is intended to help people follow their calling into ministry. This isn't for everyone. So you might ask, what else are we gonna do to develop leaders? In 2021, we are launching 3 new opportunities to develop as leaders. Leadership is influence. It's disciple. It's becoming a disciple of Jesus. The first opportunity is a 3-week series of classes called Foundations of Faith. We want everyone to have a firm foundation in their relationship with Jesus, a life of worship, prayer, and rooted in God's word. A 3-week series, worship, prayer, and God's word, building a solid foundation of faith. The next opportunity we are launching is an 8-week series called Next Level Leadership. I love this because I once came across a guy that says culture eats process and strategy for lunch. And so we're gonna develop a series of leadership talks, Next Level Leadership, that talks about being a leader and establishing culture. So if you want to serve as a leader who equips and empowers a team, whether within our church or within your own sphere of influence, man, this is an incredible opportunity for you. 8 weeks to become a next level leader. And third, man, I can't think of anything else that will develop you, develop me, and impact generations to come than how we handle our money. I'm so excited to announce to you right now that we have invested in and partnered with Dave Ramsey to give everyone who is a part of New Life Church in any way, shape, or form free access to financial peace and everything it has to offer. What used to cost participants $100+ to register for the class Financial Peace University, plus the cost of using the budgeting app and the Baby Steps app, you now have access to for free. And we are launching this in the beginning of the next year. Some of you may have thought, man, I have the desire to invest in the kingdom. I want to make a difference through my finances. And in order to do that, many of us need to grow in how we handle money. I love how Dave Ramsey puts it. I'm going to live like no one else, so that one day I can live and give like no one else. So let's do that together. Whether it's taking advantage of a hosted financial peace class, or whether you take the opportunity to start a life group at your home with friends of yours and do it together. Or you could do this in your own home with your roommates or spouses. This can change the trajectory of your life and impact generations for years to come. The year of 2021 is all about investing in developing leaders and impacting generations. You may be thinking, well, what does that cost? What are we investing in? We're investing in training opportunities. We're investing in infrastructure that allows us to make these opportunities happen. You're investing in potential staff positions to be able to pull this off. So last year, we invested in physical things, a roof in Honduras, a sound system where we do church. And our intention was to invest in a prison campus, but due to COVID-19, we've had to place this on hold for a while. This year, we are investing in what's in here, in our heart, what comes out of our lives. So while investing in physical locations is important to build the church, the local church mobilized is the hope of the world. And you and I, we are the local church. The estimated cost of this vision for 2021 is about $75,000. So what do we do now? As I always say, I want you to ask God how you can participate, and you be faithful to give how He leads you. As Kelsey said earlier, finish what you started a year ago and give according to what you've been given. If you've been given a little, man, your impact can still be huge. And it's been my experience, and it's even biblical, that sometimes people who have little give much out of an overflow of their heart. We are all blessed to be a blessing. So in your box, you should have received a card that tells you how to give, how to participate. And this Sunday, we are going to give the vision offering. And the rest of 2020, we will invest in propelling this vision to what God has called us to do together in 2021. The next step that you could be a part of is you might consider being a part of a new team that we're creating called Vision Partners. These are people that have the gift of giving, the spiritual gift of giving. In other words, they want to give towards advancing God's kingdom through New Life Church. And so from time to time this year, we may experience a vision gap. Maybe we don't quite measure up, or maybe we don't quite get there with the $75,000. We will reach out to the people who are part of our vision partners to share with them the needs that we have and the vision that we're called to do, and say, here's the gap. Here's the resources we have available, the vision that we have, and here's how you can help close that financial gap to help us to do what we're called to do together. Together, we will watch God touch and change people's lives. It's personal.
Wow, what an incredible experience. I love having a front row seat to see lives being changed. It's such an honor.
Absolutely.
For me, it was just incredible to watch all the interns' testimonies and just see like the people I worked with throughout the internship and to see how much we've grown since then.
Absolutely. Hey, speaking of, so what were your favorite testimonies tonight?
Oh, it's so hard to choose. I got to spend a flight with Mike Westfall on the way home from Honduras. We were sitting together, and he shared his testimony with me that night. And just getting to hear it again really hit home. It was so cool to see it on video. I also remember the first day that Shaw's showed up.
That's cool.
At New
That's
Life.
Really cool.
And watching Nicole walk out of that auditorium straight to baptism and just not being afraid of the fact that she didn't know any of us. It was so cool to see her faith in that moment.
Yeah, I get to serve on the worship team with Kristen and also the production team with Gabe. And so it's just been
Wait a minute. You were the one that texted Gabe and invited him to church.
Yes, I'm his neighbor.
Yes.
That was me.
That's incredible.
Yeah, it's just been so cool to see both of them just grow in their faith and have the heart to serve on a team now at New Life.
Yeah.
What about you?
So Lindsay Redpath's testimony really is just stuck in my head. And if you didn't know, there's a clip of her at the end that was Dan praying over her. And I just think about that day at Serve Day and knowing that that was the start for her finding freedom. And which is just so cool to look back. And hey, speaking of Serve Day, I mean, the Serve team, how cool. I mean, just what they're doing in the community.
Yeah.
And I even get the chance to attend my first second Saturday Serve tomorrow. So I'm really excited
That's
about that.
awesome. It's super fun.
Yes, absolutely.
So excited. So December 13th is a Sunday morning. That is our vision offering.
Yep.
We just want you to start praying tonight about how God wants you to give. There's no gift too big or too small. It's all about individual sacrifice, and He will talk to you.
Absolutely.
Just ask Him.
Yeah, and even, you know, the next handout in your bucket, I would encourage you to grab that right now, and hopefully you did at the end of the event. But there's also some more information about Vision Sunday, which is, this coming Sunday. But there's also a part there that talks about vision partners, and Pastor Dan mentioned that as well. So just like Aaron serves on the worship team and Jess serves on the kids team, there are people out there, maybe you guys with the gift of giving or have a passion for giving. So I just want you to know that your spiritual gift of giving can be used as a vision partner. And so we are kind of launching this team called Vision Partners.
Can I ask you a question on that?
Absolutely, yeah.
So Vision Partners, my understanding is that they'll be the first people to be notified when there's a vision gap. Is that correct?
Yep, and a vision gap is when, hey, we want to achieve this, but there are some funds missing for us to be able to get there. So yeah, that's a great way of explaining.
Okay.
So the Vision Partners team will be kept up on a monthly basis of what's going on us reaching our vision goals for the year.
Awesome.
Yeah, so I encourage you right now, if you kind of have that inkling, maybe God's nudging you to learn a little bit more about Vision Partners, email the email that's on this handout, take a few moments to read through, and we are just so excited to see what God does in you through this.
Yeah, well, hey guys, we are so excited to see you this coming Sunday for At the Movies and for our Vision offering. We have a special surprise for you after service. So
grab your tissues going into
yes.
this Sunday.
This movie's gonna be an emotional one.
Yeah.
So
all right, guys, have a great rest of your weekend.